and welcome back to this I24 News Evening Edition. I'm Lucy Arish, and this is the Daily Debate. Israeli Finance Minister Yair Lapid sparked controversy when posting on his Facebook page criticizing Israeli citizens who have left the country in search for better financial stability abroad. Joining me tonight is Teplitsky, social media specialist and Israeli advocacy activity, as well as Daphne Leef, one of the organizers of the Israel tent protest of the big Israel tent protest of the summer of 2011. Welcome you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For
Daphne.
Daphne Leef.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio. And what do you think about his post? Is he right?
I think that on this issue is right. I think that the situation in Israel is not easy. It's not a piece of cake. But I wouldn't say that the situation is that harsh that people should just pack their bags and leave. And now only speaking about the economic part of the equation, of course you also have other reasons for us being here, but from the economic point of view, I think that the situation is indeed difficult, and I would agree with Daphne on this issue, but it's not disastrous.
Daphne, what do you think?
First of all, I think that it's not his job as
Finance
you know,
minister.
exactly, and somebody who is in charge on Treasury to start criticizing people of this generation for trying to, you know, put their well-being, you know, first and foremost in the center of their lives. As you can see, I'm here, I'm in Israel, so I do not believe that this is a time to leave, this is a time to fight. But I think that trying to make, you know, something of a criteria of people who are leaving the country is something that is very much like him, unfortunately, because he kind of, unfortunately, he didn't understand the fact that he is no longer a reporter. It's not his job to make, you know, a statement and to make it very, very loud and for everybody to talk about what he's saying. It's his job to make sure that people will start coming back. And he has a lot of power in government in order to do that.
Do you agree? It is his job to bring people back to Israel. It is his job to prevent people from getting out of Israel. We, young people who don't find a job, who don't find the ability to pay the rent at the end of the month.
First of all, as a person of Daphne's generation, I believe we're more or less the same age.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh, you're 2 years older.
Okay. So it's very difficult for me as a young professional, as a person, as a young couple, so to say. Living in Israel is not easy. I can't even imagining myself buying an apartment in the next decade. However, I think that Daphne's claim that he should be bringing people back is a bit too much, because I think that his job is to make our life here better, indeed, definitely. But I don't think that the people that are leaving, all of them are leaving because they cannot finish the month, as we say in Israel. I think that some of them are leaving because they like the culture better, like a person that was on this piece on the Channel 10 News that said that he likes living in Berlin because of the cultural life, and it's perfectly fine. It's a free world. Or people that want to live better, and it's also okay if you can live better in another country. It's going to be a race to the bottom, because we can't always be better than other countries.
So, Daphne, I want to get you back, to take you back to 2011, the summer.
Before you do that, can I just say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. First of all, as a third generation of Holocaust survivors, I don't like the fact that the head of Treasury is talking about Holocaust as if something that, you know, to be used in a speech to say that we cannot, you know, this is something that is it's very heavy, and I don't like when it's being used by politicians in any way. Second, I didn't say that it's his job to bring them back, but I do think that there's something very cynical and very reporter-like in a way. No, you know, offense.
It's okay. You're not. You're not offending me. It's okay.
To try and talk about this huge public of people as one, you know, one criteria that you can put in a box and say they're not fine for leaving, just because of what you said, because people are individuals and they have different, you know, statements. Some are going to school and coming back. Some are going to make money in order to come back. Some are going back because they are, you know, they are.
I have to say something. I'm sorry. I'm also a third-generation Holocaust survivor, but also something of my personal feature. I came to this country when I was 6 years old. I wasn't born here, and I saw my parents, both of them are engineers, working very hard in very lousy jobs, so to say. And I think that living here is difficult, and I saw them as growing up, how they work and how they struggled. But they made it. I'm not saying that they made it to the point that I can buy a house, but they made it to the point that I have food on my table and I can provide, that they can provide education for their children. And I think that my generation should struggle also. And it doesn't mean that the government shouldn't help them, but they should struggle and not leave this country only because they can't buy an SUV or an iPhone.
Well, we're both sitting here, so I guess we're in agreement.
So let me ask you both, because I will ask you the question that I wanted to ask you, but let me ask you both. We are, the three of us, from the same generation. Do you think that maybe we are a little bit too spoiled?
Definitely. I would say definitely. There's a saying in French that says noblesse oblige. Okay, I hope I pronounce it right. Nobility obliges. A person that finishes a BA degree, a bachelor's degree in Israel, thinks that he should be an executive. It doesn't work that way. People should start from the bottom, and people should go and study things that are good for the society and that are necessary for the economical sphere. And they shouldn't go study whatever they want. And
What did you say?
About what?
About education?
I said that people should study something that is needed in the market, in the economical market. People shouldn't go and study whatever they want and afterwards claim that the country has to provide them with a job. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way in no country, and it shouldn't be working that way in Israel. Mm-hmm. So I think that we are a little bit spoiled.
But what philosophy can bring you?
What do you mean?
I'm saying that people are going to study things, and I'm not saying that philosophy is not important. I'm not saying that culture is not important. I'm not saying that all these things are not important, but a lot of people are thinking about the day after you finish and you graduate, and they're thinking about the job that they want to get and the money that they have to pay for the rent. So if they should think about what they are going to study and what is going to put them some income, because this is the reality in Israel.
I agree. I perfectly agree with you. People should think about what's going to happen a day after they finish. And if they study philosophy, for instance, no offense, then probably their skills are not going to be necessary in the market.
So we should stop study history, philosophy,
no,
humanitarian studies, and
no. But I'm not. I don't want to go into that. But all the college system in Israel provides us with very easy access to higher education. And as a result of that, people go and study, for instance, general studies in some small college. And afterwards, after they finish, they're saying, I want to be an executive. I don't want to be a worker. I want to be an executive.
Sir, I know you want to answer him.
What?
I know you want to answer him. Go ahead.
First of all, I think that education is not a market. Education is something that should be accessible, and people should broaden their horizons, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with the workplace. It has everything to do with your mind. And I think that when you talk about the United States and the bubble of higher education there and their problems over there, we don't want to be in that situation. We want to be able to have, people from all over the country going to school. That's number one. Number two is that I think that a lot of people are in the same sort of crisis from this generation all over the world. I think that people are, if you look about unemployment in Spain, if you look about, what's going on in people are keep changing workplaces between the age of 24 to 35, like 10 places, averagely, I saw research about it. And this generation has a lot of nicknames, but it also has a lot of challenges. And one of those challenges, for sure, is trying to establish sustainability. And when we talk about the system, we talk about the current system, but the current system is not really working. That's my truth for the moment. That what we see right now.
Working? It's not working.
I will explain.
For you to get an apartment in Rothschild Avenue.
Are you sure you're not working with Lapid?
No, I'm sure I'm not working with Lapid.
First of all, I live in Jaffa, I live in Jaffa. I'm originally from Jerusalem. I never wanted an apartment in Rothschild, but it did give us, appearance
But that was
because
the symbol of the
absolutely, because the first tent
protest.
was there. It's the richest avenue in the country. It's the place to
There
do
is a
something
song
that it's
that
about,
says,
wealthy
Rachel.
people and rich people. But anyway, what I'm saying is not that. What I'm saying basically, because you cut me, so I don't remember what I was. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's not about the current system, because it's. I would say what we need is a new ism. We need something that has balance between socialism and capitalism, because capitalism, when it's only free market, it doesn't work. Israel doesn't have a free market. It has an oligarchy. You have 18 families who are controlling everything that is here, basically. You can just go to the Dead Sea in order to see how they dried out one of the, the 7 wonders of the world that is no longer one of the 7 wonders of the world. If you and I are young Israelis, we should be very concerned of what's happening when greed is taking over the entire country. And I do think that we need to seek, employment in certain things, but I don't think that we need to seek for it in the boundaries of the current game. We need to think about what we want the game to be. And
so there is sacrifice if you want to get out of the boundaries.
Darling,
of the,
I don't know if
game.
you've heard, but I'm, like the state is prosecuting me. I am in this protest movement for 2 years. I didn't work and made money for a year and a half, and I'm working right now in a beauty salon in a place that gives negotiation, help, and I'm also editing. So I'm doing a lot of things in order because I take responsibility for my own pocket. I'm not in this struggle for my own pocket. I'm in this struggle because I care about this country, and because I think that if we won't think about sustainability and permaculture and think about how will this place look in 100 years, we won't have a tomorrow here, and that's my truth.
I want just to put a point on the table. I think that my job here is to ask the questions, and just let's remember, I don't think that everyone who came to Rothschild 2 years ago wanted an apartment in a Rothschild. They came out because they wanted to say something. They wanted to say the situation in Israel is very hard. We want to have the ability to have a decent salary and to raise our children with respect and to be able to give them what they want, which is not, in all the cases, an apartment in Rothschild. But I'm saying and I'm putting it, what did we do wrong? Because thousands and thousands of people went to the streets and didn't get anything at the end. Who is not listening? The leaders? Are we not doing something correctly?
Well, I have to say that a personal thing. When Daphne went to the streets and started the protest, I was part of the student union of Haifa University, and I took part in the protest. And even though my political ideology is not in the left in terms of economics, I was very active in the protest because I also believe that we cannot provide ourselves with an apartment and that it is an important issue. And I do agree with Daphne on that issue. The problem is, and if you ask the question, I will answer it. The problem is, and I saw it from within, I was there, this protest took a very political maneuver, a very political face, and it was used. I don't know if it's Daphne's fault or maybe Daphne was used also, I don't know. But I'm just saying that when I saw a lot of political movements taking advantage of this protest and taking advantage of these people that went to these tents, including myself, it was a disgrace, I think.
You have a minute and a half to answer him. Go ahead.
First of all, I agree. I think it's a disgrace, and I think political parties from all parts took advantage of it. Some to try and make it disappear, and some to make it their election platform. I think that in order of speaking about the movement in terms of what did we do wrong, first of all, show me the amount of doing, I'll show you the amount of mistakes. I think there, if you don't do anything, you don't know mistakes. And I wasn't a political person the day before that, so you come with the amount of tools you have. What?
We can argue on that issue.
Oh, we can have a conversation about it. I don't want to argue.
Definitely.
And the other thing that I want to say is that I think that it's very important to remember that we are not living in a vacancy. It's not like there were 10% of the population of Israel on the street just because we are speaking in English. It's like 30 million Americans would go out on the street in a single night, and everybody would say, okay, so what do we want? we failed to say, you know, what we want. There was always action to try and make it look very left-winged, very anti-Israel, very, you know,
Socialistic.
What?
Socialistic.
Yes, very dogmatic, very, you know, like black and white world, you know, of terms. And for that, you know, we do have a prime minister. He was the convention before it. He's in this convention as well. And he's, you know, and he is also responsible with Yair Lapid, who
I would just like to say one sentence, just to add something.
One sentence.
He works in the media. I know that the last sentence is the most important one.
Yeah, but I have to finish. I actually have to finish, and I have to give you some point because your friends did finish in the politics,
True.
And you didn't. So.
So what is your point?
No, I'm saying that it's you took another stage. You actually maybe did it in from a very personal perspective. We're going out for 10 minutes break for an update from our news desk, and then we're coming back to the I24 News one-on-one. And tonight we have a very special guest, Minister Naftali Bennett. Don't go anywhere. 10 minutes. I'll be back.